Ninja.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Caffeine and Sensu Beans podcast. I'm joined by the usual suspects, Chiween and Bless Sin. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Doing all right.
I'm doing pretty good. It felt like a long week today. I mean, this week for work. Yeah, but it's been nice to just relax a little bit. And yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I've been pretty good. We're all pretty avid soccer fans, and I woke up to watch Real Madrid today, and it's just a never-ending story with that team. It's either like even if they score in the first minute, you know that the game's always going to be hanging by a thread. So you got to be willing to strap in and get ready for this ride. And that's what it was exactly until it was
Did you watch it with your
1-0 for
dad?
the whole game until minute 93. And then finally Benzema scored. But other than that, yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. Ready to talk about this Dragon Ball.Legends topic here. What do we got, Bless?
I don't know. I know you guys haven't been playing as much recently, but I have. But PvP is definitely has dried out compared to where it was in the anniversary. I believe one of you guys showed us, if I'm not mistaken, one kick. There was a post on Twitter that this past season, just reaching battle rank 50 got you the top 10K.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, that is unheard of.
Like as of right now, just so you guys know, I am battle rank 46, and I'm currently ranked 46,000.
4,600. Yeah,
4,600 in the world.
that's nuts. That's that's unheard of, dude. And to be fair, yesterday I actually tried to play, but my phone is heating up. It's starting to show its age.
There you go.
It's starting to show its age. And I
There
tried
you
playing
go.
I can't play more than 3 games in a row where my phone the characters on the screen, they start to like freeze up and it starts to get super weird. So, I just wanted to throw that.
It might be time, dog. Just get
It
on
might
your
be
phone,
time.
dog. Get on your phone, dude.
Yeah, it might be time.
That's
No, but the
what
thing
that's
is,
calling for.
I'm waiting for the iPhone 12 to drop because it should be like this month. I think they're gonna announce it.
Oh, okay.
I know. In my defense, I did just pay off the 10, because that's the one I have, the iPhone X.
Yeah.
So I'm also, I don't know, but I haven't having any issues with playing the games. I don't know if I'm gonna upgrade yet, because not paying that is nice.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing. But it's to Chewing's point, dude. This phone it's on the verge of dying because I wake up, it's at 100%, and by the time I get to work, it's like at 75%.
Nice. iPhones are just notorious for that shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. The battery's trash.
That's the thing I don't like about them, dude.
They're expensive and they got to be replaced every
3-4 years. It's like, dude, I remember I had the same exact problem. Like I would charge it and then it'd be like noon and that thing was already almost done. I'm like,
and they don't even give you an option to replace the battery. Like, no.
No, they don't.
No.
They're like, yeah, dude. Okay, real quick story before we get into the PvP. My old phone, the reason why I got this one, which is the 10, I got it 3 years ago almost. My old phone, I had the 6, and I had that one for 3 years, and when it was having the same issues, battery like draining easily, and it died on me one time, and it would not turn back on. And so I'm like, no. At the time, I had Blazing on there. I had Dokkan. Those were my 2 games. I'm like, dang it. So I went to Apple. I scheduled an appointment. They took a look at it. They were like, have you tried restarting it? I'm like, dude, it won't turn on. And then they were like, let me go to the back. They went to the back. 5 minutes later, they came back. They're like, yeah, it looks like there's not much we can do. Either you can you know, just leave this here, we'll recycle it, and unfortunately you'd have to buy a new one. And I had bought in the Apple insurance, and I'm like, dude, I have the Apple insurance, you can't like trade this in, give me a new one. He's like, no, you'd have to buy a new one, unfortunately, Apple insurance doesn't cover this.
Bastards.
Whatever. I go home, dude, I get a hair dryer, and I go like this. I know the viewers can't see that, but just imagine someone with the hair dryer blowing on the phone, dude. It turns on because the battery heats up, so it turns on, and I was like, oh yes, and I transferred everything, like, and I was able to
I
like,
remember that, dude.
that was
Remember
legendary.
you were playing a different Blazing account for a while.
Yeah,
It was
remember
actually
that?
a pretty decent account because you had the Seal of Light and the Seal of Darkness.
Yeah.
Classic.
Stuff, dude.
See, that's the problem with mobile games.
Whoa,
Like,
whoa.
if something happens like that, you just
The
lose
rap,
it. Like,
dude.
like when I lost, when I
That's
my
why you got to
phone got
link it to
stolen,
your social media, dude.
Dunzo. You see, but that I don't know, man. Everything's linked
That
to
doesn't
that.
feel right to you?
Have y'all seen the movie The Social Dilemma? Have y'all seen that? The one about the use of phones and stuff.
Is it
I
good?
Interesting
recommend
movie.
it. Yeah, it's interesting, man.
Is it
It's
on
just like
Netflix?
just how much data these companies get from us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Nuts,
it's nuts.
It's
dude.
just like
They got pretty much all
ridiculous,
access to everything.
like everything. But they're like playing us of like how much, like
How safe it is?
not even how safe it is, but like just how much our behaviors are influenced by what they want us to do, which
Oh,
is
for
like,
sure.
and it makes me think of this game of Legends, because Legends, the whole point of it is for how long can I keep the consumer inside this game?
Yeah, for
You know what I'm
sure,
saying?
dude.
Which
And
is
and
weird.
and the movie kind of gives us an idea of like what are the tactics and strategies that they use.
And
You know what I'm saying?
maybe that's the reason why PvP is burning out. Maybe people's brains are fried out from looking at a phone so much.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was gonna go, but
I mean, that's where I think this game, unfortunately, that they want it. They want you to dedicate too much time to the game.
Yeah.
Like for you to be like, I'm still curious how some of the guys in the top guilds like get over 7 million, 8 million.
Dude, I don't know how they do
like
that.
what can you
How
do in this game?
that gets you
for
that
real.
many
Like what
points.
is there in this game that you
There
can
isn't
grind
that much
much?
content.
Like what aren't you doing in life that
Yeah.
you're doing that? Like that takes time regardless. Like even if you're just skip ticketing, like it takes time. Like to get to 8 million plus. Like we're like I accept that we're probably barely, if we're lucky, ever gonna hit silver. Like that's if our team
just
all
how
decide we
insane,
just
like,
had to
these
knuckle.
dudes
We got to buckle down, boys, and we got to go. Like that's the only way. Like if not, like you're staying in bronze.
Yeah.
You're not dedicating your life to this game. No.
And to your
Staying
point,
bronze.
like, I don't know what it is they're doing, because like if PvP is dry and is dead, then
Like PvE,
it's not like PvE
is not
is
fire.
lit, like it's
Yeah,
crazy, it's
not. No one's
fire.
going like, I cannot
Yeah,
wait to
that
log into that
PvE.
Goku Black
Well,
event.
now they just keep resetting the events, right? They just resetted the
Yeah,
Goku
just
Black
lack of
event,
creativity.
and like they're just resetting.
I'm cool with the CC. I mean, I'm cool with it.
The timer. I mean, it's cool, dude. But at the same time, like, dog, like they're adding like 3 parts to the story that keeps time, and I'm like, dog, what is this? You know what I'm saying?
Where we going now? Where we going out here?
They're like hanging on, right?
Yeah,
They're like,
Charlotte, it's like he's gone now. Like that man's in a different world.
Yeah. So
I mean, I haven't even. That's the thing is I haven't even played the story really. Like I got over it once he hit God. Yeah, I was like, I'll wait.
Well, I mean, there's really nothing. There's only like 10 episodes after that or something like that. Yeah,
so they just
like
these
that.
updates are just for like 3 episodes.
Buhan's involved in there somehow.
Of course,
what is happening here?
Yeah,
it's time.
Yeah, it's interesting because at least that was gonna be kind of my entry point to why I think PvP is like in the state that it's in. And I do think that a part of it is the over like stress that they're putting on the player base to like keep playing. I think on another end though, like I think the player base is just not happy with the way that they're rolling out these things. Like I think that for the most part people are like, okay,
flow.
We get it, but it does feel like that. It feels really scattered. You know what I'm saying? Like even the drop of Goku Black, like it's like, dog, what? Like how random is this?
Like
you just
transforming Rose, like
out
of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Out of
nowhere.
Black
Friday's next
Normally,
month.
yeah.
You know, like why not save it to that? It's not like
they did the last 2 years.
I mean, the game is not like him dropping Goku Black and Great Saiyaman as as fire of a Gohan transformation as that is, like very few people. Like I love Gohan, and I didn't chase him. Like I got happy with 2 copies of Goku Black, and I called that banner a success. And it's like, why did you drop this banner now? Like, it's not like it saved PvP. And
No,
Goku
Yeah.
Black
if anything,
Rose is an incredible unit.
yeah.
Incredible. Like he's great. Like he probably one of the best units to drop since the anniversary.
I really like using him, and I've only played a little bit. Like I said, I tried playing a little bit yesterday, but yeah, he's super solid, super
So
good.
I don't like why you drop a unit like that now. Like, what are you trying to buy time for? And that's not a unit you want to use to buy time.
But I don't even know if that's buying time, though. Like that's kind of like I've been saying. It's like it just feels like a Hail Mary. Like, what is it? I don't even think it's buying time. What are they buying time for? Like
Trying to figure a direction to go to take the game consistently.
Like
Yeah,
they're
That's
just
what I
trying to see
think.
what sticks, right? Like they're
Yeah, like
throwing
I'm trying to. I
spaghetti
think
at
right
the
now
wall
they're
and
trying to
whatever
like
sticks.
feel out like where. Because I guess I mean they just came to the conclusion we're not giving you guys servers. Yeah, we're not doing that, guys. Sorry, we're not doing that.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
don't think it would
think
be beneficial at this point because the clientele's not necessarily like. Why would you invest in servers if there's not even that many people playing right now?
True.
yeah.
So, and then that's another reason why they got to just feel out like what is hitting right now. Like, what can they continue? But they can't continue dropping units that are just fire because eventually, like, Vegito Blue is going to be irrelevant because you
Yeah.
dropped another Fire Blue future
Right.
unit.
And I know that eventually they're gonna they've already recycled units, and they will again. There will be another Vegito Blue, you know, and there will be a Gogeta Blue and another Gogeta Blue. But I think like if you run through your roster, nothing really compares to that initial release, that first copy of that unit. You know, like the first Vegito Blue. Even though there will be a second, there won't be one that's you won't get the same feeling as you did with the first one, because in my eyes, like the first one is kind of it's new. There's a novelty feeling, but I think like the they've really lacked addressing the kind of free to play roster, and I think there aren't. And I harp on this often, but we haven't gotten a free to play unit in a free to play sparking since Goku, you know, since
Kakarot.
the Kakarot Goku.
Mm-hmm.
And um I like to use Ultimate Team as a reference because Ultimate Team is
FIFA.
like
FIFA.
yeah, FIFA Ultimate Team is like Legends in a way. Obviously, one's a sports game, the other's a fighting game, but but they have multiple ways to getting you players. Now, maybe they won't be the best players. Sometimes they'll be really good players, sometimes they won't. But at least they have ways of getting you players. So whether it's via SBCs, now they have a lot of objectives that allow you to open packs, which is basically like summoning. And I think when you don't, I understand that they primarily focus on the pay to play player base, but when you don't flesh out the free to play roster, you do leave out a big portion of your player base isolated. And then, of course, that will drop on in terms of the numbers, in terms of the number of people playing, because, you know, they don't have a way to keep up. Like their units are going to be old, outdated, and everyone else that's paying is going to have, or that has really good luck, is going to have all these great new units. But, you know, the free to play viability isn't there just from a like unit perspective. I understand they have the Z power. I think that's really good, but I think there's no balance. It's always just they throw out a unit to summon. They throw out a unit to summon, and I think that alienates a portion of the player base. And then you see a drop in the numbers. But that's one of the reasons why I think like PvP is really dry. You know, I don't know what other thoughts you guys may have. I have like another one, I think, could be a reason.
I have another one too. I unless you got one. You got one too, boss, or you want me to go?
I just think the Zenkais also kind of threw that out of balance even more.
Yeah. What do y'all think? Do y'all think the introduction of Zenkai it was the beginning of the end of this thing? Y'all were here before me, so yeah. No, do you think that was like the beginning of this trend? I guess you would say.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I'm sure that if you actually were to see when like PvP started dropping, it would probably show like an increase in Zenkai units being released, right? So there would probably be like an actual relationship there. Like they started dropping more Zenkais, PvP, the PvP number started dropping. It could be because, you know, I think they've done a good job of making it more affordable, which is good, but making it more affordable it doesn't mean that everyone gets access to it. And so
Mm-hmm.
the 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 you end up getting the people who probably were spending but not as much as whales, actually spending on the banner and getting the units. But those other people who probably never spent, they weren't getting the units. They weren't getting any Zenkais. So still kind of the imbalance is still kind of there in my eyes. Where in the past, the 20,000 CC for Zenkai, I mean, even though it was super expensive, it was so expensive that the percentage of the player base that actually had Zenkai units was so small that you would rarely run into a Zenkai 7 unit. I mean, maybe a cooler, he was really popular. Maybe like I think I ran into one Beerus, but it was just rare. Now it's often, right? But you know, it used to be so almost unattainable that it was kind of a non-factor in PvP because you just wouldn't see that many people running Zenkais. But now it's thrown things out of whack, I think. And yeah, I don't know how they can address that issue of Zenkai. I don't know if Bless what you feel about Zenkai. I mean, um, how if you think it's kind of affected the game in a good or bad way, or maybe it's not been an issue at all. It's been a non-factor.
Oh no, it's definitely affected it. I honestly think it's just how strong they become as E7. Like it's demoralizing if you don't have any. Like you go into a match, you make a mistake, and Android 18 catches you in a combo with strikes, you're done. Like all your units are going. Like it doesn't matter who you swap in, nothing. Like it's just I don't know what was the point. Like I get they're trying to bring back old units, but it's like why did you have to do it so consecutive where you just flooded the game with Zenkais? I get you got a lot of different teams back into the meta, but what you did is you kind of pushed the player base where like if you're not running Zenkais or high star meta teams, it's gonna be that sucks for you.
And I think, dude.
You
go ahead.
Yeah, so I was gonna just add to that because I don't have that many stars on all my units, but I do have this hybrid team that I want to actually use. I actually want to use him. Bless my heart, because I want to use Ultimate Gohan, and he's only at 3 stars, and I was fighting against. So then I come up against this female warriors team. so on there, I mean Kefla had a good amount of stars, but I was able to take care of Kefla, right? So I was working Kefla, and I was able to like get him, because I forget who else I was running. I might have been running I was running the red. I think I was running Gohan, the LF Gohan, and then the Gohan from the movies, and then the blue one. And they're both of those are high stars for me. They're at 6 stars, but Ultimate Gohan's at 3. And so I'm taking care of Kefla, and I'm doing pretty good. And then all of a sudden, a Z7 18 comes into the field.
It doesn't matter.
You never seen anything like this.
I never have seen anything like this. So then I go, and then I'm going. So I go switch into my Gohan, to my red one, and I'm now doing the thing, dog. To tell you that
she decimates
that like the amount of damage that I was doing to her, it was laughable.
Yeah, I'm sure it
It
was.
made
Yeah.
me want to just like quit the game right there. I'm
It's
like,
crazy how
for
much
real?
Gohan
Like,
jumps up too.
dude, it was like she never had to switch out again. She stayed in the match the whole time,
Yeah,
and
she
like
just
nobody could do anything to her. And it was just like,
Nuts, dude.
dog, how is this? How is this fun to anybody? Like, dog, like I'm trying to be like, at least to me, like this is the way I like to approach games. I try to like, diversify as much as I can because I get bored really
Right.
easily. So like,
Hmm.
I'm trying to use this team, and I'm not saying that I'm supposed to win every match. I'm not saying that. But when you introduce a character like that, and it's not just her, right? Like it's Gohan. It's like it's 16.
Cell, the Z7
It's
Cell,
it's Cell, right? Like it's like
Z7 Demon King Piccolo.
right. Demon
Oh,
King
that
Piccolo
fool
was another. I never have
nuts.
ran into him, but it's like he looks like he's nuts.
He's
He's
nuts, dude.
ridiculous. I'm
He
like,
nullifies endurance on a strike attack
it's
when he's
like
poisoned, dude. It's
it's like there's
dumb.
so many powerful units. It's like I said, it just like I'm right now just running into every team. You either run into Future with the new Goku Black, or you're running into a team that's running as Zenkai.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all you're running into. There's no regen. I think maybe LOE every now and then. Female warrior, yeah. If they're at high stars, they're dangerous. It's just like if you don't have that type of like someone to deal with that, like a team to deal with them, you're not gonna have fun. Like you said, you dealt with that Android 18. That's all you run into. That's like all the units right now at the top. Like they're just.
I never had encountered her, so I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna see. I got Gohan, I got type
You're
advantage,
good.
and I'm good, right? Like I'm at 6 stars. I'm like, I'm killing it right now. And then I go in, I go for a freaking thing, and she's just like, nah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? What's this little scratch that I get? What's this little tickle? So it's sad. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I kind of thought about that idea of like, it was the Zenkai. The downfall that I think we're seeing a little bit. I don't know if they have the capability to rise out of it, to be honest with you.
I mean,
The
I don't really see
developers
how
don't
they
seem to
could.
me like they got that in them to like to figure out a direction and just stick with it. They don't. To me, either they need to hire somebody that has a clear idea of like, okay, we're going this way and we're going all this way, because right now they're just like, oh, let me try
all over the place.
Let me try a little bit of this. Like, what's the shit that they're doing with Trunks right now? The little like, what is that called? The one where we're all battling.
The Extreme Clash.
Oh, the co-op.
The co-op one, but
the
guild,
the guild, the guild, the guild, the freaking raid.
Clash.
The raid, right? Like in the last raid ate shit, but then this one we won supposedly, and like. So they're trying that out, and then they're trying out like the ultimate time rush. Then they're doing all this other stuff and like PvP with the whatever the LBR, right? Like they're trying out all these different mechanisms, and nothing to me seems.
I think if a perfect example is just look at the videos and stuff. Like when Toshi was running it with Kagi and Rhyme Style, it was being done in one direction. Then all of a sudden they switched the cast. Now it's completely done differently. I mean, if that's how, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's how they're running things, like, I imagine, like, this game that's constantly needing to be, changing, keeping up with the fan base, giving them some content. Like, at this point, they're like, all right, fuck it. Just throw whatever works, just throw it out there. Just give them CCs. Just give them CC right now.
Yeah. Give them CC.
Give them Chrono Crystals, and they'll buy us time to figure out what direction we're going. Which once we figure that out, we're gonna probably switch our mind after a couple months.
They're like not like focusing on creating content as opposed to creating like just mechanisms to me. Like to me, like they're just stuck in create like let me just figure out a mechanism to keep you playing raid. Let me find a mechanism to keep you playing free PvP or whatever. But it's never actually content to actually engage the player.
Yeah, it seems very short-sighted, like, and I think, like, to your point, they're kind of all over the place. And Bless said it, just give them some CC, and that's true. But I think players, like people in general, like one of the big attractions to things is like building something, working towards building something. And CC, the reason why people like it is because ultimately it can maybe get them a unit in the future. But it doesn't, you get it, but you're not actually building something. So I think if we had for instance, if PvP was more fleshed out, if we had an actual tournament that happened every weekend and the rewards were really good, the way, again, I draw a comparison to Ultimate Team, or FIFA Ultimate Team, they have a tournament every weekend that you have to qualify for. And once you qualify, you can opt in, you can play. And depending on how many matches you win during the weekend, you get a, X number of rewards. Mm-hmm. And the rewards, depending if you're like super pay to play, maybe they won't be that great to you because, you already pay you already pay. So it's not an issue for you, but to someone who maybe doesn't or doesn't spend as much, it might be valuable. So that's a within PvP, it's its own thing. Then you have the normal PvP, and the rewards have gotten better, but I think we should start like putting Z power. I think rewards should be more around units that we should be able to use, build different teams, incentivize us to use different teams. Like I don't want to see that I got to rank 300 or whatever and I get 10 Z power or 15 Z power for the green Piccolo that launched on release.
Yeah.
Right. That's not an incentive for me. Yeah, for me to keep playing. And I want to build different teams so I can use different teams, and also it would be good if you incentivized using different teams, because if not, then you have one game mode that's PvP. It's the same thing all the time, and you're just going to play that with one team, and it's going to get boring. It's one team, one thing all the time.
Yeah, I like that idea, but what this game does is like they do such shady stuff where they trick the player base that it's just like, dude, why are you doing this? Like, for the raid, they put in there like that you can get extreme Z power as a result of winning the raid, but it's such a small chance of you getting it, but it's there in the possible rewards, and it's like, dude, don't do that to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, just give it to us. Like, I think that there should be no reason why we shouldn't be able to level up our characters, considering the fact that you just made such a big leap in power. It's bull that my ultimate Gohan has to stay at 3, and I can only really, me personally, this is me personally, I can only really level him up by trying to get 100 SP coins. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not gonna get to 50. I mean, maybe I am now, but like, I'm not. To be able to get like more Z power, consistent Z power, right? So I'm basically going really at a slow pace, which is fine. But like, it's hard when you're like, you have to focus on just one unit and just continue with that, and there's no other way to get it other than currency, as opposed to gameplay. Because I prefer it to be based on gameplay than on currency, because the currency in here is so out of whack anyways that it's like it doesn't really make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, there's even one currency that is literally based just for people that have paid for this game, right? That yellow one where it's like you get Z this medals? Yeah, where you get it when you already have maxed out a character, right? Like, I'm not at that stage. I don't think a lot of us are at that stage, especially if you started anew. You know what I'm saying? Like, while I respect folks that played it, I mean, that have paid for it, there's that level, right, of like, yeah, you should get something, but at the end of the day, there's really
but the thing is, even they're complaining like this game is dry.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to you said it earlier, like Legends doesn't have a clear direction. And part of that is okay, the player base in a way defines the direction because you take their feedback and you implement it. But you need to because right now the player base, they don't know what's going to come next month. Like, not in terms of banners. I'm talking about content. Like, do I know if LBR is going to be here next month? I don't. Do I know if Ultimate Battle, which you didn't play but we played back in February, is going to be here next month? Probably not. Like, they've tried so many different things, and it doesn't stick, right? And it's because it does feel like they're kind of changing the tire as they drive, you know?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they're, I think Toshi needs to reel it in. They got to say, listen, boys, okay, what is it that we can do? Like, what is the main attraction of our game? It's PvP. I understand PvE is there, but let's be honest, this game, PvE will probably never compare to PvP in terms of when you beat someone, the satisfaction you get from beating someone doesn't compare to the satisfaction you get from beating a level 300 computer or AI. And so they say, okay, PvP sucks. What do we do to improve it? Well, I think we got to flesh it out. We need better incentives. We need more game modes within PvP. PvP is the one competitive differentiator. You know, in business, they always talk about that. Like, what's your competitive advantage over everyone else? Well, for Legends, it's PvP. I don't see any other game really having PvP the way, you know, Legends does, any other mobile game. I mean, maybe at least within the anime gotcha system, maybe, you know, Fortnite, PUBG, I don't know, maybe those games. But yeah, to your point, there's a lack of direction, and you know, Toshi, he seems like a great guy. Don't get me wrong. You know, at least from the videos and stuff, he does seem like a great guy. But a great guy doesn't mean a great leader. And this isn't an indictment on him. Maybe there are people that are holding him back. They're saying like, yeah, well, we don't want you to do this. But I think so long as they keep kind of just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, it's just going to be cyclical. You know, next month we might get some other thing, some other type of LBR, and it won't be here for another year. You know, we don't know what Zenkai is going to come out next week. Yeah, so yeah, it feels like the game is all over the place. It feels like, to me personally, why I haven't been playing PvP as much is because I wish it was more fleshed out. I wish there was more to do. We talked about having a mode where you can build a certain team, you know, kind of like FIFA does with their SBCs, where they say build a team with this criteria and you get another card in return that's normally really good. And if you could do that, you know, it's like, oh, okay, it gets your mind working, almost like you're building a puzzle.
Yeah.
And they just, I don't know. It feels like they don't really think out of the box. You know?
That's, I don't think that that's their focus. You know what I'm saying? Their focus is not to create more content. Is more, the focus is more, how can we keep you in here, as opposed to, like, you know, actually providing
Right.
some sort of value. Like, I don't
And
think
it's all
that
filler.
I don't think that that's what they're talking about at the meeting.
Yeah.
Like, they're not talking. I don't think at the meeting they're like, how can we
Well,
add more features to
Well, we know
PvP?
what my boy you is talking about at the meetings.
yeah,
That
the
boy's
female
talking about
warriors.
female warriors, man.
Yeah.
I mean, bless his heart, and that's a tight thing. That's what I like about this game. Yeah, there's a lot of cool details, but that's not where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I have another point too, but I don't know. Bless, do you have anything else to add to this?
Not go for it, man. I'm
So another thing that I noticed about PvP, and I also think that this is another contributor to this, is that it's way too fast. Like, matches are way too fast. Like,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's to the point where, like, if I'm getting my ass kicked, like, and I keep consistently getting my ass kicked, it's like I can have like 5 matches in the span of like 20 minutes where I'm just getting my ass kicked, and like, that doesn't feel good. And if I'm winning, sure, like, it could be mind numbing, I would assume, but I don't know. It's to me, they haven't done a good job to slow down the pace. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're literally making it faster. Like, the units they're dropping, they're either hitting like a truck with no brakes straight into a wall, or it's getting us there's these insane support unit that you just got to swap them out, and the unit that's coming in is just wrecking
already. Exactly.
Just wrecking. Like, so I think, like, maybe that's what they thought was the issue with PvP. It was taking too long. You guys remember when regen was the meta?
That was nuts, dude.
That was
Games were
unreal.
dude,
it would run out of time.
I
For real?
fought Blessed. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did a few
I did
matches,
that too.
and he
One
used
kick.
regen, dude.
But I'd prefer that over what's happening now.
Nah, dude, you wouldn't.
Dude,
You need a
no,
balance for sure, though. I
yeah,
will say that.
and that's where I do think where the issue with PvP is they're dropping these Zenkais at a rapid rate at an insane level, like that they go up to like at Z7. Plus, you're dropping units that like so. Not only did you get LF Gohan, that's insane. Now there's a Goten plus that Trunks. That if you run them together, like what? Like no, he's not. It's like the game is designed to be 30, 40 counts max.
And it when it's like that, which is, listen, I do agree. Like the matches now, they can end in 15 seconds, and I really mean that because you can have 18 swap in, wreck you. You have
off a support unit,
and you have a rising rush already. You have a rising rush ready. You launch that. Now you're left. You know, other dude is left with one unit.
A support unit that hasn't transformed.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. That's purple. And the other dude just forfeits because he's like, dude, I'm not. And that match took 12 timer counts.
There is a lot more quitting now. I will say that there's a lot more quitting. Like even for me, like I'm not even up there, and like people quit on me, and I'm like, really? I'm not even LFing you or like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even going out of my way to like try to embarrass you. I'm just trying to win this match. But they quit.
It's hyper offensive, dude. And there isn't like the support units now. It's more just like damage buffs, you know, and maybe some damage cut too.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm talking about when Mai came out for Future.
Mm-hmm.
She was so good. She was incredible. And I mean, she did like healing for the team. She also did damage buffs. Of course, I think they should add that. But you know, they should do draw card speed. They should increase the it shouldn't just be like, oh, you get a damage buff, your team gets a damage buff. They should do things like increase the cost of your opponent's arts, lock your opponent's arts cards.
Ultimate Gohan does that when they swap in, he locks the strike cards.
Yeah, he does, right? But if that was like, if a support unit had that in their kit, right? Like a little more creativity. An offensive unit should be that. Because if an offensive unit is also a support unit, well, then there's no point of having these different archetypes.
I mean, all they did with this Goten and Trunks is make LF Gohan from hyper offensive to like ultra hyper mega offensive.
Yeah, one shot dead.
Yeah, like it's crazy, dude. I've literally swapped in with him and popped the blue card and one shot at a unit, full health.
Yeah,
I'm like,
nuts.
the guy's like, okay, I'm done. Yeah,
dude probably had all defensive equips on his
like,
unit too.
Dude, like
I'm ready to tank this. Yeah.
I don't understand. Like,
ready.
Like, and that's where I'm thinking, like, where is the direction of this game going? How do you balance it out? Are you going to now start introducing team?
I like that idea though of what Kick just said though of like if it's a support unit, let them just be a support unit to the fullest and play around with the like. I think play around with the archetypes that they have. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a defensive unit,
well, meaning that support units don't have to necessarily only just boost damage.
Sure.
Like, there's different ways that support units can affect the game.
Yeah.
By swapping in, you know, like where you still have to account for swapping. It's just like right now, I feel like they think that, all right, if we can get people to just continue playing games, like, hey, one shot a unit, let's keep going. Like they're gonna keep.
That's gonna make it sexy.
Not. Yeah,
it does. Like when you first see it, and you're like, whoa.
No, when you have those units
that's
and
your
you're doing
emotional
it, it's
reaction.
great. But when you're on the other end and you're consistently just getting one shot, dude, like, why do you want to play?
Gohan is so hyper offensive. It's nuts. LF Gohan. He shouldn't be recovering 70. Well, how much health does he recover? 70%?
Oh my! I don't know, but every time I pop his green, it's like over 1 million health regenerated.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
And then
he's got like the damage cut. Like,
yeah, he nullifies.
So what are you? You're everything.
Yeah, like it's, and not only that, he still has this buffs, the damage buffs from the other units, like from them dying. Like he gets buffs from being the last man standing. Like it's, I don't understand. Like, do they not play the game and like, or do they have all these units that they don't care? So they're like, whatever, man.
Maybe it's a perspective.
You got to look at the other.
I mean, I would assume that a part of that does come from maybe that isn't their problem. You know what I'm saying? I would look at I would be interested to see Japanese players as like characterless, and maybe they're at that level where, you know, maybe they do have Zenkais to just be able to fight with each other. I
You mean
think
like
here,
Goresh?
I think here it provides a different, you know, it provides a different obstacle for them, because not everybody is gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do think that they need to flesh out the archetypes, and just like, if it's a defensive unit, like
Really make him
make
a tank,
yeah, make them a
where
defense.
he's really hard to like take down, and but he's never gonna deliver insane amount of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, and
Mhm.
that's where I think they're having issues. Like, where do they find a balance? Like, it should be a team of three should be three different types of units, in my opinion, to be the most synergistic team, like a melee,
Mhm.
you know, something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Offensive, support, and defense.
yeah, something
Yeah.
like, so that way you're providing different banners and people can pick and choose. All right, well, this future unit, he's a tank. My future team's lacking a tank. Maybe I go in on this banner.
Yeah.
Or
And
maybe
there's
they're
a
drinking
reason.
another tank, but you already got a great unit. You need someone that's needs to hit on your team.
Yeah. Because
And
right
maybe
now
this
you
is not
don't.
the banner for you.
Right. Because right now you don't need a defensive unit on your team.
Mhm.
Go
You just
all
gotta
hyper offensive.
yeah, you gotta just
Yeah, just end the try to right
out
now the
offense them.
purpose of the game is you try to finish it as fast as possible.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, well, either to Chewing's point, like either the defensive unit is super defensive to counter, but they're not doing that. So what we might get in the future is a defensive unit that's going to do insane damage, you know? And then
Then
it's
they're
like,
not really defensive.
yeah, so it's like, dude, there's no point of these archetypes. I don't want to see like, oh, this is a defensive
Because
unit
at
if
that
he's
point,
doing nuts damage.
why even put different types? Like
Exactly, that's what
why
we're
even
saying.
put
Yeah, there's no point.
categories? Like,
But I think that that's kind of what, but I would like them to. I mean, look, I don't know if they listen to this. I doubt it. But if they ever were to listen to this, like, I think
I
to
don't know,
really,
man.
I
I don't
think
know,
that there's,
man.
I
I
think that
don't
there's
know.
something there for them to, like, they have the archetypes there, like, just flesh them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Exactly.
think that to me that would benefit the game a
And I
lot
think that all
more.
what it comes down to is what we've talked about and we consistently hit on is their hesitation to commit. You know,
Well,
like make
yeah.
a melee, like make a support unit. Like right now, their only support units are damage buffing. Like that's all the support unit does. Like swap in, swap out, they're getting buffed. Like they're not adding to the game. It's like every unit's similar.
Well,
It just they.
well, because Garesh has been talking about like possibly introducing like a disruptive unit, and I've been thinking
Oh
about
yeah,
that of
yeah.
like what does that actually mean, you know, in this game, and like just playing with that idea of what would it look like to actually disrupt the game, right? And can that be a form of defense? And like, you know, I don't really know as to what he
Like a
means
unit
by
that can
this.
swap in no matter what, and you can combo into. So no matter what, at one point you're going to take over the combo.
I don't know. I'd
That
like
would
them to
change the
play with.
game.
I would like them to play with other stuff, like, you know, poison and like other stuff that like maybe it's like, you know, taking life away little by little, or like taking away something like.
I'm so I don't dude, like you know who's the like worst unit to go up against and it's very underrated is that
Shenron?
hero hero
Hercule?
Hercule.
Oh yeah,
Bro.
he's a beast.
No, dude,
Dog,
He's a
that
yeah.
beast.
is paralyzed is I was
Nuts.
like, what is like I'm literally just
But I
watching my
like
phone. My
that
guy just
though. I like
huh?
that. I like that. I
Yeah,
like
that
that.
it's fun, but it's a unit that you're rarely gonna see.
Yeah, it's quirky
You know,
for
like
sure.
it's fun, but I
You
mean,
need
a good
skill to
unit can
use
have
that
that. I mean,
though.
that could be a different type of support unit. Like that's what his design is. He's more of a support unit, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
Uh,
so.
and it's like, but he does. I don't think he buffs damage when he swaps out. You know, like he doesn't. You don't.
Hmm.
Not every single unit. Like not every. You don't have to make every unit make the other unit just stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like it doesn't need to be where. All right, guys, we got to make people. We got to finish these games quick. Like
Yeah,
these
like
guys. Like
I
that's not
think
fun.
a support unit should be able to like revive, you know, give endurance to one of your units if they die, if they get hit with the rising rush or something like that. Right? Like it should be more it shouldn't be just they buff the damage that that a dumb unit is already doing. Like
Because let's be
go
honest, in this meta, the damage cuts they're not really relevant. Like there's so much damage inflicted boost, like it's crazy.
and I wonder if you kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, Bless, is they feel like characters, especially the popular ones, they need to be nuts. So, I mean, that's kind of common sense, but you know, they they're afraid of like if we were to ever make a unit like Gohan, anything but a nuts offensive unit, people wouldn't be happy with us. And so, you know, they think, well, these guys, our player base, they really love offense. We're going to have to just go offense heavy. And I think that should be the case for certain units. Yes, like a Super Saiyan 3 Goku, a Vegito Blue, like a Gogeta, a Gohan. Like, yeah, they can be hyper offensive because it fits.
Talking about big name iconic.
Yeah, like it fits the narrative in the game or in the series, right? But they should have some drawbacks. Like, Gohan shouldn't be getting so much health back. They shouldn't be cutting damage a bunch. They shouldn't have ridiculous health, right? Remember when Super Saiyan 3 Goku dropped for Black Friday back in 2018? He was a really good offensive unit, but he didn't have great defense, and his health was low, because it's like, okay, this is really an offensive unit. This unit is meant to be the kind of damage dealer of your team.
He's not going to eat damage.
Yeah, but you have other units and they kind of went away from that, and
I feel like they're trying to make units really balanced, which kind of takes away of that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Balance. I know what you mean, that they're good at everything.
Yeah, like they have a little bit of everything in their kit. And that's cool, like, but you can't do that for every because you can't do that for every unit, because at that point then they're not that, they don't fit the category. Yeah, they're just a unit, like they just do it all. So if you're gonna have categories, then I think the fan base should have the opportunity to really experience the difference of each category.
Mm-hmm.
Like not every single, like right now, most units right now that you're running, they can heal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They regain ki. They just increase damage on their own. Like it's nuts. Like they're doing a little bit of everything, but they're classified as a melee unit. I don't know, man. This guy looks like he's doing a little bit more than just striking.
Yeah, exactly. So I think definitely character design needs to be improved. They need to really commit to what they're saying this unit is. And they went away from that because it's easy to just load up and say, oh, look at what this look at what this new unit does. Look how good he is. And people initially, they're going to say, whoa.
Goku Black just dropped.
And then a week in, they're going to be like,
next month it's going to be like,
something else.
Goku.
Damn.
Yeah,
exactly.
Why did you spend on that? Idiots.
Yeah, dude.
Should have waited.
Yep. So.
Yeah, it makes me think of like what the hell they're going to release for like Christmas or like New Year's or whatever.
Yeah,
like
it's gonna be
like they're gonna release something just ridiculous.
How much more damage can you do?
The biggest issue right now is there's just a lack of consistency. Like you brought up, like we don't know what next month is gonna bring. Like for all we know, it's gonna be a light, dry CC month. PvP, just no new game modes. Like I think the fans want to know, okay, each month I should be able to grind this much CC if I complete, the content. And they don't want recycled content. Like you're telling me there's not enough stories in Dragon Ball Z, in Dragon Ball's the series, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, where you can't create stories? Like you can't, like how many units are in this game that are just sitting there that haven't done anything?
Yeah,
we're not saying Zenkai, please. We want to Zenkai this Kid Goku again.
No, but
like, we're not saying that. What we're saying is introduce a game mode where these older units they're the ones dealing the buff. They're the ones that get the buff. Like in this, like you don't have to have all the newest units to clear the 1000 CC. At least that's what I think. Would add a little something to it, because right now they're just recycling. They're all right. As long as they get 1000 CC, they should be happy. But it's like
I will say
the
this.
same thing over and over.
I will say this, and I think historically, and just the way kind of the business seasonality goes, Q2 and Q4 are normally the biggest like quarters of the year, and we're going into Q4. And historically, it's been true for Legends also. Like Halloween, we might get something. Well, not
Black
Thanksgiving,
Friday.
but like Black Friday, we've gotten heat in the past. And then December, when we have Christmas, when we have New Year's,
What did
we
we get
might
this
get
last
something as
Black
well.
Friday?
Huh?
What did we get last Black Friday?
Rose and LF Vegeta.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent so far on
Yeah,
Black
and then they
Fridays.
dropped that huge update. Now, granted, it was a huge update, but it caused an uproar in the community. So I know they have certain dates marked, and then obviously Q2, like that's when the anniversary is. But they have certain dates marked on their calendars, and I think like the October, November, December months are big for them. So I think if we're gonna see anything that's fire drop, it will be in these next 3 months, because January, February, those months, they're normally kind of dead. Like this month we got the on Valentine's. What banner did we get? I know we got like the 18, right? The red 18. Oh no, we got the Android 21, and then and then we also got the I don't know if it was a little before, if it was in January.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Bardock, and we got the LF Frieza, the LF Piccolo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if we're gonna see anything major, if we're gonna see the needle move a lot, it's gonna be, I think, within these next 3 months. I think it'll be very telling.
Like right now, I'm trying to take a little more free to play grind to the game, because I just been thinking like you guys brought up before, like YouTubers that they just go in, not all of them, but a lot of them max them out to 14 stars, whatnot. It's like, at that point, like, do you really even enjoy the game? Because you're always just using the newest characters. You can't take away. Like right now, I'm really enjoying this Goku Black, so I'm gonna re-ride Future for a while until they drop something that blows my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna try playing the game. Like I haven't really been playing other than PvP, which is weird. But I haven't grinded any of like the new Goku Black. I haven't done the Raditz event. Like I don't know, man. To me, it just hasn't really caught my eye. I don't want to feel like doing it, but whatever. Eventually got to get those 1000 cc.
Raditz.
Yeah,
I do think, to Bless's point, I think getting a unit to 5-6 stars normally, that's it. Like you don't need to go after dupes after that. I mean, unless you want that 7-star for a future Zenkai. But other than that, 5 or 6, you're pretty much set. Everything else it makes the difference, but trust me, there's like diminishing returns, at least in your head. You're gonna be like, damn it, why'd I go after this unit to make him 14 stars? And I don't even really use them. So yeah.
I mean, that's where I just think right now the game, it's like they're just resetting that Goku Black. I mean, like they definitely got lazy on that event.
I'm sure.
Like, what was the point of getting lazy on it? Like, it's a fire arc. Like,
we just did that. We just did that.
It's like, how can you guys not? Like, I don't. That's the thing. My issue with Legends is, how do you guys struggle to come out with content with the storylines that this game has? Like, because literally just read some of the stories and put different, like, do a event with like a random event where it doesn't necessarily have to tie in with the current banner. Like I think that's where they're making their mistake, is like they think that the content has to tie to the newest banner. Like, no, it doesn't. Like, give us an event that provides 1000 cc, but it's different units. The Bojack and Gohan event, storyline from the movie, something like that. That units that you haven't really seen or used in a long time, that they're still fun to use. It's just right now
There's
everything's
so many
tied
things
to.
they could do, dude. They could have dropped a free-to-play Goku Black like Dokkan did when they dropped. And granted, I mean, he is hot garbage now. Not the one that came out during anniversary, but I mean, Goku Black is a very popular character. I'm sure there's a 16-year-old out there that was like, "Dang it, I couldn't get this Rose." But if you drop a Goku Black, maybe a Goku Black that has an assisted Zamasu, that's free to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'd like that, and it doesn't have to be OP, but people are drawn to these big ticket characters.
But then in our fan base, if they're not OP, they're complete trash.
I think, I hear what you're saying. You do get that visceral reaction, but I think having a character that's good, even if he or she is not OP, is better than not having a character at all. And so, I think
well, you're
that's just
playing for
my
something. You're playing for
yeah
something. You get
yeah
something at the
exactly.
end of that. So like
You're
I hear what you're
progressing
saying
towards
that
something.
even if it's trash, like yeah, I mean on one end they're unusable, but I think on another end you're at least getting some. You're going through something new. You're getting something new. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just paying for something new.
Mm-hmm.
And the paying for something new gets old real quick.
Yep.
I think if you give players an experience, I think you are more likely to captivate them as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to just giving it to them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And
Yeah.
that's just not to me that I totally agree with you of like it is baffling to me of how much they do not use Dragon Ball stories in the game to create content.
Or
It
just start
baffles.
from literally there and move forward. Like that's the thing is, why can't you have two different content? One that the story's tied to the current banner, cool, like that's fine, but have a consistent story like where it's progressing through the Dragon Ball. It's not necessarily tied to the Shallot story. Like I'm talking about, it starts with Dragon Ball. You know, Kid Goku takes on Demon King Piccolo, and then it progresses to Dragon Ball Z. Different story where you like. There's so many. Like I look at my, I think I have like 290 characters.
Characters.
I probably use 20 of those.
Yeah.
Like,
If that, dude.
yeah, like so I have over 200 characters.
They're just sitting there.
And 90% of them are,
Irrelevant.
irrelevant.
I mean,
Yes,
but they're irrelevant in PvP. Like, let's be clear
well,
about
they're
they're
irrelevant in
irrelevant.
the game because they're not going to help you in PvE. They're not going to be the
But
units
that's what
are
I'm
like,
saying though. Like, if there was a mode where you can use them,
yeah,
they're
exactly. Like a
playable, right?
story
Like,
that's like, yeah, that gives them like those units are the ones getting the damage buff.
yeah. I mean, I think that that's kind of what I think would be nice is like we have 200 characters in our list and give us something else to do with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just as simple as that. Maybe I can only play the Boo tournament with Hercule or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just gives another flavor to the game because as of right now, like it just doesn't feel like they're tapping into that. Like while it's nice that they're paying attention to details, but like we said, it's like to characters that no one's really using. So it's like then give us a reason to use them so we can pay attention to those details and we can pay attention to those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it shouldn't be that hard. It almost feels like they're like because I'm laughing at how they're unfolding the Shallot story because I could just tell that they're rattled right now where they're like players want content. They're like, where do we go with
Oh, a
this?
Shallot story, yeah.
Where do we go with this
It's
story?
like, what are you
I
guys
don't know.
panicking about? How many villains are in the Dragon Ball series?
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
I don't understand how they.
Well, the thing is that they're following the stories in the Dragon Ball series. So I'm like, why are you being rattled by this? It just
Right.
baffles me because they're like every time that it ends, it's like, hold up, we're gonna get to it. Just hold on, be patient with us. We will put a new story out. And it's like, dude, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
Like, it's just like they're just so funny. Like they're just
They
like
panic for no reason.
and
And then they just start, they're like, all right, we need to release content transforming Rose.
And that's the content.
Yes.
And that's the content.
Yes, go with
Canon
that.
equals
Wait, are you
content.
saying Great Saiyaman with Saiyaman 2 assist
With
as
the
well?
do-rag?
Is that what you're saying? Okay. Like, that's what the fan base wants? Like, yeah, that's cool, but, I mean, from what I'm hearing, Great Saiyaman is not that great. So,
I haven't used them, so I don't know.
I was just reading the comments on Twitter. I didn't pull them.
I mean, maybe so, but I think
that could have been a free-to-play unit.
It could have been a free-to-play unit, but again,
yeah, a grindable free-to-play unit. Why not? I don't get it. Like,
it
why?
ain't like he's hype. I'm sure he
like,
didn't move the needle that
like,
much.
It's Gohan, but it's not the best version of Gohan. Like, no one's saying, like, when's that Great Saiyaman dropping?
Yeah,
not
exactly.
one person was thinking, when is a summonable Great Saiyaman dropping?
The best Gohan in that outfit is the one when he's got the helmet off and he's Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
man.
I don't know, man. I think that's a missed opportunity. Could have been a free to play unit, but it's also just like it's sad because you get them and it's like, well, I can't really use them in PvP, even if you want to use them. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now that was movies got a little resurgence, maybe the first day or two. And they're gone.
That's
like,
a rep.
like,
yeah,
they're just getting wrecked right now. Like the movie's just not a meta right now. Outside of that Gohan,
Gohan,
like the units,
Green Goku.
the other units just don't.
my guy.
Yeah, they just don't got it. Like right now, Gojek, that's not what they're definitely nothing what they once were. Like,
yeah, for sure. They're a year old, but
so I just right now I think the issue is with PvP is just too many units. The gap is too big. It's too fast. It's overwhelming. Where people that are consistently doing like, why do I want to go into PvP? Yeah. So I don't know how they're gonna fix it. I don't know what their strategy is.
I don't know if they will fix it.
I don't know if they care to fix it. You know,
yeah,
maybe they're like, man, this how fun is this? Like PvP is just they're loving it. They're thriving in the top 100. Like,
I love it.
Like it's you know, it is a good question. Like, is this the beginning of the end? Like, are they getting in their own way where people just don't want to deal with Zenkai? Like, the game's no longer fun. Where 2 shots and the guy's gone. Mm-hmm. That's red and the unit's yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Will this be the game that had the potential to be?
Yeah, exactly. It'll be the
Theo Walcott.
The Theo Walcott of mobile games. But boys, we've kind of been talking about maybe some other content we could bring to this podcast. Gentlemen, why don't you go on ahead and tell the listeners what we have on the agenda? I don't know if Chewin or Bless, you guys want to, elaborate.
Yeah, sure. I can elaborate unless you want to, Bless.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah. So
this is your idea.
Yeah. So, for our listeners that, thank you so much for listening to us on a consistent basis. We see the numbers and we appreciate you because, we're not that, social media like gurus, right?
Yeah.
But I think we appreciate the fact that we have a consistent like listenership. But I think we're getting to a point in this game, and all three of us are kind of at this, some more than others, where Legends has become a little too, like, I think we're focusing a lot on what's wrong with the game, and I think that's always a hard conversation. And I think it's hard for us to produce content in some ways. I mean, I think we can talk about anything in the game if we wanted to, but I think we're getting to a point where the game doesn't feel as fun. So we've been thinking about switching up our content in regards to, what we talk about each week, and something that, we still keep Dragon Ball in our like rhetoric or in our conversations, but it's not going to be about Dragon Ball Legends anymore, at least not for a while. And maybe we'll return back to it once we feel like, okay, the game is kind of picking up, it's becoming more fun, and maybe it won't, like how we're talking about in this conversation, maybe it won't, and that's just a part of our reality. But we, as Dragon Ball fans, I guess you would say, like, there's plenty of content for us to talk about, and what our next idea or our next episodes will most likely deal with some aspect of the series. We might specifically be focusing on the movies, because most of it, like 2 of us, haven't really seen movies. I don't know how many movies you've seen, Kick, but I haven't seen many movies. I've only seen Broly. So that should be fun, and I'm excited for that ride to see the bad ones and the good ones, and it's gonna be quite the scavenger hunt to figure out where we can see them online. But it's we're thinking of changing pace, changing gears, and we hope that you stay with us, listening to us, and help us grow, and continue your support for us, because we like Dragon Ball, and just as hope as you like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and I wanted to add on a little bit to that too. Like you said, this doesn't mean that we're not going to cover Legends again. They'll probably drop something fire in December, and we might talk about it, or whenever they do. Or maybe they won't. Who knows, right? But we're certainly not closing the book on Legends. We're just shifting pace, and maybe by us watching, some Dragon Ball content, it will actually make us want to pick up the game and be a little more active in it. Who knows, right? It might have that effect. But for full disclosure, Chiwin decided it would be good if we started with Dragon Ball Evolution.
And I hear great things, so we're about to find out.
Oh man, I have actually watched it. I watched it when it released.
In theaters.
I watched it with the squad back in 2009 in the theaters. Oh man, dude. I remember there was only like 10 people in the theaters and 6 of them were with me. It was some fire. But you know what? I remember like some guy from the audience. I mean, it wasn't even an audience. He was like, because they left well, you'll see. I won't spoil too much because it's a fire movie, but they kind of leave the door open for a sequel, and I was like, ooh.
What a cliffhanger.
Yeah. And some dude from the audience, he just like yells because he was pissed. He's like, straight to DVD. I'll never forget that.
Wow.
You're sure?
Wow, they must not appreciate that cinematography right there, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to see the cinematography of this film and in the acting and the
It's
director's
different, I've heard.
choices. So I'm ready. So
I will say, yeah, and definitely if it was bad in 09, I'm gonna rewatch it obviously so that we're ready to talk about it. But
So
if
it's
it was
nice
bad
and fresh
in
in your
09,
mind.
yeah. But if it was bad in 09, I don't want to even think about what it's gonna be like now, where the animations, like at least the animations back then, maybe we thought, okay, that's okay. Now, oh man, dude. But we'll see, like Cheween said, it's going to be a journey. There's some good ones out there. There's some ones that will kind of provide some nostalgia. And there are some, they're the bio Broly's of the movie
I hear great things about that one too.
So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. And we're certainly excited to bring a little something different to the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's good. That's gonna be the direction we're gonna be going on with our podcast. But thank you for listening so far, and we hope that you stay listening to us.
Right.
Bless, you got anything to add?
No, sir.
All right.
I guess we'll just we'll wrap it up. Again, thank you for taking the time to listen to the Caffeine and Sensu Beans podcast. We appreciate your attention. We appreciate you guys listening. Like Cheween said, we hope you stick with us, and follow us on this journey. We'll be back next week. We'll leave all our Twitter handles down below in the description. Feel free to ask us anything. Feel free to drop us a comment. Feel free to give us feedback, suggestions. Let us know what you think about PvP. Do you feel like PvP is on the come up? Do you feel like it's coming up? Are we delusional?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like PvP is also stale or maybe even dying? But yeah, thank you again. And gentlemen, do you guys have any closing thoughts?
Not me.
Rose.
Get ready for a ride, I guess.
Yeah, get ready for a ride, and Rose is really good. So enjoy him while it lasts,
because he won't be here.
He won't
be here for a while, but
next week.
He's pretty tight. Like I'll tell you that. Like I've been having fun playing with him, and So if you don't have him, I suggest you should get in. It's a good banner too. So that'll be my final thing.
All right, for sure. All right, well, thank you again, and until next time, stay legendary.
Ninja.